On why the Albuquerque Public Schools police chief has been put on suspension.
It has to do with ammunition disappearing from a storage locker. That is according to sources close to the APS Police Department, who also tell us Chief Steve Tellez is one of a few people who has a key to that room. The district is refusing to comment on this paid suspension, calling it a personnel matter. Well, almost 6 years after Manny Aragon admitted to stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars as a state senator, the library at an elementary school in Albuquerque still has his name on it. Aragon pled guilty in 2008 to helping skim more than $4 million during the construction of Albuquerque's Metro Courthouse. By now, Aragon has been convicted, he's been to prison, and even released. Yet his name still sits prominently on the J.R. Lowell Elementary School library here just south of UNM's football stadium, as Aragon finishes his sentence at his home in the South Valley.
Obviously, I don't believe that any facility should be named after him at this point. He made some bad choices, and it's not appropriate. But the way the system works is that the community, the school community, needs to bring it to the school board, or the school board needs to take some action.
APS policy says it does allow the school board to consider a name change if most of its members feel there is a, quote, compelling reason to do so.
Albuquerque police say they were forced to shoot and kill a dog after the dog attacked 3 people in the South Valley. It happened around 3 Monday afternoon near the intersection of Blake and Unser. Cops say the red heeler bit 3 teenagers. When officers arrived at the scene, they say the dog was going after them, foaming at the mouth.
It gets out quite a bit, but never heard of it attacking anybody or even coming at anybody. If anything, it was a shy dog. It would almost run away from people.
The 3 teens were treated at the scene. The Animal Welfare Department is now testing the dog for rabies. An Albuquerque teenager who killed his father will soon be transferred to prison for the next 15 years. Thomas Manning was just 16 years old when he shot his dad, Jeffrey, in the back of the head while hunting in the Gila National Forest. This happened back in 2010. Well, last week, Manning pled guilty to second-degree murder in a case with the agreement that he be sentenced as an adult. The judge immediately sentenced him to 15 years in prison. Manning is now 19 and is awaiting transport to the State Department of Corrections. For now, he remains in the Grant County Detention Center.
Well, more than 200 people converged at a meeting in Carlsbad last night about the radiation release at WIPP, the nuclear waste storage site. Recently, the governor admitted the first known release of radiation from the underground site is very serious, but it insists the radiation levels detected in and around the plant in the last 10 days are no more risky than that of a dental x-ray or an airline flight. One skeptical member of the audience asked how they could be so sure, since not all of the samples have been analyzed and little is known yet about what happened. Well, the latest phase of the Paseo I-25 project is, get this, tripling of the drive time for some folks.
I was in traffic for 30-40 minutes, and it was just really slow stop and go traffic.
It was backed up all the way from Jefferson to the 2nd Street, so I was like, I was still late to work, but
Still late to work? That's an assumption that you were late before the construction started. Anyway, I digress. The new setup along Paseo west of the interstate has both directions down to 2 lanes on a temporary road. It goes from Jefferson all the way to the railroad tracks. The narrowing of the roadway makes it slow going. It'll be this way for a while, possibly into the fall. To see the latest closure information and to check out live traffic cameras, just head to our website, KRQE.com, and click on links. Well, overcrowding at the Metro Detention Center and money are 2 of the top items on the agenda at today's Bernalillo County Commission meeting. It starts at 5 tonight in the Griego Chambers. That's in the Government Center downtown. Now you talk, Elizabeth.
After a 4-year standoff between Albuquerque firefighters and the mayor, an agreement has been reached that will boost the pay of firefighters. Mayor R.J. Berry signed a 1-year contract with the firefighters union yesterday. It restores the pay that was cut when Mayor Berry took office and trimmed the budget. The agreement was created by city councilors and overwhelmingly approved by union members. It provides a 2.5% across-the-board increase with additional 2% for drivers and lieutenants.
I most importantly want to thank the taxpayers of this community because the economy is slightly improving. The gross receipts taxes over the past few months, for the exception of December, was up. And anytime we have additional revenues, we definitely want to look after the men and women that work for this great city.
The Firefighters Union is still suing the city over the pay cuts 4 years ago as a violation of their contract. Monday's agreement does not affect that lawsuit. Well, what stores and restaurants do you want to see in your neighborhood? In Los Lunas, residents are being asked to give their opinion. The village has posted an online survey that will be used to try and lure in businesses. Village officials say more people are moving to the area, and they hope to get residents to stay and shop there instead of driving to Albuquerque. We've posted the survey on our website. Go to KRQE.com.
A big announcement today to limit the marketing of unhealthy food in schools. It's part of the First Lady's Let's Move campaign to combat childhood obesity. Vending machines, cups, posters, memo boards, even scoreboards could all be subject to these new rules. Coming from the White House and the U.S. Department of Agriculture today, they'll phase out ads for junk food and sugary drinks on campuses and ensure other promotions are in line with health standards for school lunches. Also out of D.C. this morning, another plan to shrink. In this case, though, it's the Army to the smallest size since World War II. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel says the U.S. can afford to cut the size of its military so long as it retains a technological edge. Mr. Hagel says the world has become a more volatile and unpredictable place, and America needs a military force agile enough to respond on short notice anywhere in the globe.